Tom Ball from Sun Racing back again, once again, with the latest weekend preview. Delighted to be joined by Chad Yeomans of Betway and Steve Mullin, aka Templegate of the Sun, to discuss this weekend's action. We're going to concentrate mainly on four of the big races at both York and elsewhere. But first up, we're going to go with the John Smith Cup, which is, of course, on the Navismire. Cracking field this year once again. We have 22 runners going to post. It's a really, really strong race, full of unexposed handicappers and exposed handicappers, both of whom are all in good form. Solid Stone heading the market with Sir Michael Stout, Craddock up there as well for Ed Walker. Harrovian for John Gosden, all the big trainers you'd expect. Fifth position for Roger Varian. There's some really, really good, exciting horses in this race. Templegate, we'll start with you. What takes your eye most in this field? It's a hot race this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fantastic race. I mean, I've looked at it 10 times and every time you look, you find something else that you think might win. I mean, I've long followed Sir Michael Stout 4-year-olds as they step up in trip, and it's not done me far wrong. And I think Solid Stone, I think it's second favourite with most places after the move for Craddock. I think looks a fair enough price. Good effort at Sandown last time, despite not maybe getting the run of the race. Still did pretty well. One going away gives the impression that stepping up to a mile and two will help. And as I say, Sir Michael Stout, past master with horses like that. Plenty of dangers. I mean, fifth position was very impressive at Doncaster. Should enjoy the kind of punishing straight at York. And then you've got Harrovian there lurking with Frankie and Johnny. Can't be dismissed either. And even last year's winner, Pivone, or Pivoni, however you say it, is only £2 higher and must be in the mix as well. But it's a cracker, and I'm going to go for Solid Stone.
Lovely stuff. One for Sir Michael Stout there, and Saeed Suhail. Chad, what about you?
I mean, without saying exactly the same words that Steve's just said, every time I've looked at this race, I've gone, oh, that could win if that runs to that. That could win if that runs to that. It really is one of those races that you could make a case for literally any of them. I think there's only one in the race that I couldn't, and that was, I can't remember who it was. Maybe Dark Jedi, I think it was. There was something in it that I just thought, that one, maybe not. But the ones, I've narrowed it down to a couple. That's the best way to describe it. Peeve One, you mentioned, won the race last year, bidding to become the first horse since 1986 to win back-to-back renewals. This race is really tough. Historically, he is better with a run under his belt. So I'd have to just say he's going to run well, but not win for the second year running. I like Afark, Charlie Hills and Dana Neal, winner of the Hunt Cup last year. This horse has got tremendous amount of ability, still quite lightly raced really for a 6-year-old. And ran okay in the Hunt Cup on his seasonal debut this year. Didn't get the best of runs. Finished sixth and a quarter lengths into sixth, I think it was, or seventh. He won't be far away. I think after that race, they said we'll go to York. So, whilst you could make a case for Desert Icon, fifth position, Solid Stone, Craddock, you could just reel them all off. I'm going to try and just find a bit of a price. So Fark at a bit of a price, and Baltic Baron for David O'Meara and Angus Villiers claiming 5 off his back. Ran okay last season without setting the world alight, but was a really eye-catching fifth, one place ahead of a Fark. Two places ahead of a Fark in the Royal Hunt Cup, and was absolutely flying at the death. And I just think at the prices, you're talking 20 to 1 to I mentioned. If we can get an extra place somewhere, hopefully they'll be flying at the death and do a bit of luck. But it's so competitive. It's so tough.
It is so tough. So you like one for Hamdenham at Toon. He's had a fantastic season so far. As we know, those blue colours have been everywhere in the winners' enclosure. And Baltic Baron, who is also my selection. So great minds hopefully thinking alike there. As you say, much more like it when he was fifth in the Royal Hunt Cup last time out. I'm really interested in him tackling this new trip. I think it will suit him well, and he loves a big field. His best runs have come in them, and his worst runs have come in small fields. So hopefully he'll enjoy this. And I really like Angus Villiers as a jockey. I think he's a really good £5 claimer, and he's actually going to be running off. Baltic Baron's going to be running off his lowest mark he's ever run off in handicaps. So hopefully, given David O'Meara's good form, he can go very close indeed. Great stuff. That is the John Smith Cup done and dusted. Now, the John Smith Silver Cup is, I would say, as disappointing as the John Smith Cup is exciting, because really it looks to me like a 3-horse race. I mean, you can give a small chance to Ranch Hand and Eagles by Day, but I think it's between Communicate, Moonlight Spirit and Universal Order. Chad, would you agree with that assessment?
No.
Oh,
simply no. On all-known form, Communique is the best horse in the race, and if he does what he's done at Newmarket previously, he should bolt up. But I don't like backing Mark Johnson's horses at York. If you backed every Mark Johnson horse at York for a £1 level stake, you'll be down 357 quid. It's one of his worst return. And considering he's a man who's trained over 4,250 winners, I've got to be well clear of that. I've got to steer clear, especially at the prices. He's going to be around a 2-to-1 shot, I imagine. Moonlight Spirit's coming back off a very disappointing run, albeit in soft ground at Royal Ascot. He's flattered to deceive a few times for my liking. And I think if he wasn't trained by Charlie Appin, and he wasn't, from the boys in blue, he'd probably be 3 times the price that he is, which is around a 9-to-4 shot. Universal Order's got a chance, probably the most, the horse you can rely on. Won 2 of his last 3. I do think Ranch Hand's got to step up on what he's shown, and he will appreciate going up in trip. But I really like Eagles by Day, really, really do. I can't believe the price of him. He was a big eye catcher in Anthony Van Dyke's Lingfield Derby trial. Travelled up really, really well, but just didn't quicken. And that was due to the fact that the ground was really soft. But he's got a lot of ability to be able to go at that pace. There's a few other horses who come out of that race and won. He then finished 3rd, staying on behind Japan and the King Edward. And it was only 2 strides away from getting 2nd in that race. He went up in trip to 1 mile 5 and went off 2-to-1 favourite for the Bahrain Trophy. Ran okay. It was a bit of a muddling race, and then didn't go on the soft ground again at Ascot earlier this year behind Fanny Logan. Moved to David O'Mara from Michael Bell, but on some of that best form, he shouldn't be 10-to-1 outsider of the field here. He's got plenty of ability, and back to fast ground and 1 mile 5. I think real ingredients for a proper bet on this horse.
Indeed, having a debut for David O'Mara, very good there, having a nice big price horse in the 5-runner race. Excellent stuff. Templegate, what's your opinion on the race?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't ruled out Eagles by Day either. I thought this longer trip might suit that one, making a debut, but I'm quite keen on Universal Order, really. I like a horse with a high strike rate. This horse has won 6 out of 10. Won a couple of times already this season. Thought that was a pretty good run, winning at Newmarket last time. The Jamie Spencer Marmite man is on. I'm a liker of the Marmite more than I know a lot of people aren't, but I like him as a jockey, despite the occasional blips. I think he'll ride a good race for this, and I think his sense of timing, shall we say, could come in handy because it could be a bit of a muddling one. Like you say, Communique ran well last week, but again, some Mark Johnston horses, I can never get them right either. And I think Universal Order has got a pretty good chance in this.
Yeah, I would agree with you. He's my pick as well. Jamie Spencer coming back from injury, he just gets on so well with this horse. It's absolutely the kind of horse he loves to ride. Coming with that late withering run and able to bide his time so well, as he showed at Yarmouth when he won that time last year. So hopefully Spencer can come out with a nice winner here. I think Moonlight Spirits has got a lot to find on that last run. He has got very good group form at his best, but I do think that Gold Cup effort was so poor. You're going to have a watching brief with him. And Communique has not been the same horse for me this season. I know he produced a bit of a better performance last time, but he's not at Newmarket, and I think that's going to see him come unstuck. So I'm going to go with Universal Order as well. Great stuff. Moving on now. I mean, there's plenty of really top races this weekend. We obviously can't cover all of them, but one that we are going to cover is the Hackwood Stakes, which is always a cracking race. It's been run by some really good horses in the past, including the Tin Man, who runs in it again. There are plenty of others in there with big chances. Dakota Gold, Judicial, Shine So Bright, Summerhand, Tinto, Tis Marvellous, Mum's Tipple, Repartee. It's a really good race this year. 12 runners going to post for this Group 3 contest. Steve, I'll come to you first. Who do you like most?
I think I'll give Shine So Bright another chance. Went off far too quick at Epsom last time. Possibly didn't get home either. Did well to stay on for 3rd in what was an all right race. He's won a Group 2 at his best, and probably just do those tactics again, blast off, and hopefully the easier track at Newbury and the shorter trip should get him home. I mean, the Tin Man, cracking each way price. I thought he ran all right behind Batash. I mean, for his age. And you've got Judicial in there as well, who ran so well in the Chip Chase last time. Seems to be best going over this distance nowadays. Should be a good race, but I think Shine So Bright, if he can get away, I think maybe hold on this time.
Lovely stuff. Shine So Bright, second top rated in the race, 9-1. The Tin Man top rated in the race, 11-2. So you've got some very nice prices about some proven good horses there. Chad, what about you? What's your take on the race?
Exactly the same. Shine So Bright and the Tin Man are both cracking each way, but Shine So Bright was Placed in the Mill Reef at 2 at Newbury, so you know he acts on the track. He's got some of his form from last season, some of his place form is brilliant. If he put that run at Ascot behind him, that was one of those days where he just wasn't at the races. Much better over 6 at Epsom last time, but he did go off too quick. This is going to be more his level. I really think he's a proper each way bet. And then the Tin Man is just consistent, isn't it? You just know that he's always going to run his race. He won it a few years back. He's got a Sheen Murphy book. There's just plenty of ticks next to his name, and I think the two of them are good each way bets. And if they both get placed, brilliant. If you get a winner and a place, even better. But I certainly think you won't get 2 unplaced if you back both of them each way.
Great stuff. Both great minds there in agreement. I'm sure you can't go wrong if you follow Chad and Steve when they pick the same horses. I'm going to go slightly elsewhere. I like Summerhand. I thought what he did at Pontefract last time off top weight of 105 was a really impressive performance. He travelled so well and finally got that win on the board. I've always thought he's a group winner in waiting. I've always thought he's a very, very classy handicapper. He should have won the Woking, got going a little bit too late and couldn't quite get the gaps in time. And I think he's the only real, apart from possibly Repartee, not young, but progressive improver who's definitely got the world at his feet still. So hopefully Summerhand can really get going again in group company. So he'd be my selection in the race. But I do fear Repartee with the weight allowance and also Jet Judicial, but I just think that £3 penalty could just find him out a little bit. Great stuff, guys. That's the third race done. On to Sunday now, where if you could piece apart the Marsh Cup, you are a better man than I, because it looks a very tough race indeed. Once again, been won by some good horses in the past, but it's a relatively new contest, but one that is extremely interesting. I think I said it was at York, but it is, of course, at Newbury. Over 2 miles, half a furlong. It's a very competitive race, once again, full of really, really classy staying handicappers. Only 12 runners to go to post this year, but it's 12 good runners: Australis, Moon King, Rashun, Celino, very unexposed horse of James Fanshawe, Rashun in the first-time visor. There's plenty in here with big chances. True Destiny down the bottom. Chad, we'll come to you this time, mate. What's your opinion on the race?
I won't have a bet in the race. It's not my kind of race to have a bet in, if I'm being brutally honest. You could make a case for all of them, and equally you could rule them all that, or you can rule all of them out. They're in between good handicappers and the lower end of the group scale, aren't they? And Celino was good, second behind for Jared Prince at Ascot, runs to that form, probably go well. Just in Time's been off for a couple of years, but Alan King's in fantastic form, and if he is ever going to be a man to get a stay-in handicapper back first time up, it'll be him and Tom Markand in the saddle. Blue Laureate's got some good form from last year. There's just plenty, and to be honest, I can't get stuck into any. But if gun to the head, maybe Just in Time at an each way price. But.
Lovely stuff. Excellent. Steve, what about you?
Yeah, I thought Australis ran well in Newcastle last time in the plate. Seemed to see out the 2 miles. No problem. It was a bit of a funny race, turned into a bit of a sprint, didn't it? Slight rise in the weights, but still getting £10 from Celino, which could just make the difference. I thought Celino did run really well at Royal Ascot, and is another who looks like this trip will help. I think they've got the right to at the head of the betting. The most interesting one in the race is Rashun, I think. Wasn't stopping over 1.6 miles at Newmarket last time, provided this hasn't come too soon. The first time visor could help there, but from a tipping point of view, Australis has got the tick for me.
Australis obviously second in the Betfair Northumberland plate last time out. Excellent stuff for Roger Varian there. I'm really disappointed because my big fancy in the race was not declared. That was Diocletian for Andrew Balding. I was annoyed about that. I don't know if you can tell me any more about that horse, Chad, obviously being Betway ambassador Andrew Balding, but gutted about that. So I'm going to just go with True Destiny down the bottom of the weights. I thought he ran really well last time out to be second on your weather, and I think that performance in the Goodwood Handicap last season shows what he can do in this kind of contest. So hopefully under Jason Watson, True Destiny off a very low weight is going to be capable of a lot better. Chad, any thoughts on Diocletian, or have you not heard anything?
I've not heard anything as such. What I did know is they at the back end of last season, they really, really fancied him for the November Handicap. I think out of his last, I think he entered or declared to run in 3 races, and each 3 was abandoned due to unraceable grounds. But he bolted up at Chester, and they thought he was a bit of a coming of age. Right, November Handicap looks a really nice target, and they were really, really confident. Then, of course, got abandoned, so it didn't manage to run. They thought he was got a nice chance at Ascot. I haven't heard anything since, but they do. He's got a lot of ability. He has got a lot of ability, so there'll probably be a racing him at some point this summer, or certainly towards the back end. The November Handicap could be the long-term plan.
Indeed, indeed. So that would put paid to my hope that he's going to be stepping up in trip, but you never know. Finally, in addition to the 4 races that I mentioned at the beginning of the preview, we're also going to be looking at the 365 Steventon Stakes, this listed race over a mile and a quarter. 9 runners go to post here, headed by Fox Tal, who obviously brings actual Group 1 form to the table and is rated 115, which is a pretty high ceiling for a listed race. And I'm kind of surprised for Betway ambassador Andrew Balding. He is not a shorter price than around about 130. Templegate, come to you first. Do you like him or do you like something else in the race?
I do think Foxtel is the one to beat, but I do think he might get beat. Maybe Foxtel was just a bit rusty in the Wolferton, coming back from 8-9 months off should improve for that. And obviously, like you say, at the weights he should be giving weight away, and he isn't. But Global Giant frustrated me at Sandown last time. There was only 6 runners, but Frankie didn't have his finest hour there, didn't get the clearest of runs. And I think that's coming back from a break. He may have needed that as well. And I just think around the 5-1 mark, I think he's got a good chance. Prince Ejai is the other one who ran well at Royal Ascot. Looked the winner of the Wolferton, I think, before just running out of petrol. And we'll see if that was because he didn't stay or just because he needed it. But I'll go for Global Giant. I think he can do better than we saw at Sandown last time.
Great stuff. One for Frankie there. Global Giant, Fox Tal, or something else for you, Chad?
On all known form, Foxtel's the best horse in the race. If he runs to the Champion Stakes 4th round Magical last year, that he's the one they've got to beat. He was too keen. He did himself no favours at Ascot and got himself beat by being too keen. I know that Andrew and the team really fancied him and really thought he was one of the better chances of the week. If he runs back to that form, I think he'll go very close. And I think you'll probably be able to tell the form he's in by the market. Watch the market tomorrow. If he goes off a similar price to what he is now, I'd be against him. If he goes off closer to 6-4, I think that he's ready. At an each way price, Extra Elusive would be the one for me for Roger Charlton. Ran 5th in the Wolferton, ran really well. Last year, got some really good form. Finished 2nd, only beating the neck by a Larkham, which to me is good Group 2 form. And reproduction of that on good. That was fast ground at Sandown. Reproduction of that, surely see him go very close. He's about 6-1ish. So Fox Tower for his money, Extra Elusive. And at a big price, a little fancy, Rakib Al-Waha won a nice race at Windsor last summer for David Simcock. I think the race might be set up for him. He'll be switched off, likes rattling quick ground, and he'll come with a late flurry. And he's about 20-1, 25-1, something like that.
Lovely, lovely stuff. I'm going to stick with Fox Tal. I think he's the class horse in the race, and hopefully he can bounce back to his best. Nice, thank you very much indeed. Lovely stuff there. 5 races discussed. Hopefully we've got plenty of winners ahead of the weekend. It's really action-packed. There's a lot going on at different race courses, but I'm sure we'll have our ear to the ground and be following everything. And hopefully you will all be at home as well, and hopefully we'll give you some winners. So best of luck for the weekend, and we shall see you all very soon.
Love it.